Rewind. This is Kelly Florence.
And I'm Meg Hofdahl.
And today we're talking about Teen Wolf. Now, I need to say right up front, this is not the Tyler Posey MTV show Teen Wolf that we're talking about. We're going old school. We're going Michael J. Fox.
Who is just an American treasure, may I say.
Wait, he's Canadian.
Oh, right. Actually, well, I know, but he's a North American treasure. And actually, when I looked him up, I saw we were born in the same town in Canada.
That's amazing. Maybe yeah.
That makes me happy. Yes, apparently I haven't seen Teen Wolf, the TV show. Apparently that lasted like 6 or 7 years. And apparently that was like really confusing for people because like the little kid from Maid Manhattan's like hot now or something.
Maybe it was confusing for you.
Oh. No, I wasn't confused.
Okay.
But anyway, did you ever see the MTV show?
I didn't. I mean, I think I started the first episode and then I was like, I don't have time for this right now. Yeah. But I mean, it's probably something I will get to eventually.
Yeah, it seems like maybe it could be fun. So, and then there was the sequel, Teen Wolf 2, starring Jason Bateman, who is very Michael J. Fox-esque. So I guess apparently he plays his cousin in that.
I didn't know that. I thought they changed it and it was like recast or something.
No, I guess, which, I mean, and it makes sense because in this movie, I guess it's like a familial thing where you get the werewolf gene from like, you know, being in the family. And then apparently, kind of cool. So 1985, the Teen Wolf came out. 1987, Teen Wolf 2. And then apparently there was going to be a female version starring Alyssa Milano, but it sort of fizzled and they never made it. So that would have been, I don't know, a curious thing. I don't know if that would have been good or not. But
interesting.
Yeah, they were going to go a female route. So as I was watching this, wait, first before I want to say that, kind of interesting. When it came out in the summer of 1985, it was number 2 at the box office and number 1 was Back to the Future. So he had the number 1 and number 2 movies. So he was the king of the summer of 1985.
I was going to ask, when did Back to the Future come out? Because it seems like the same age Michael J. Fox. Spoiler alert, I think I love Back to the Future more than this movie. I'm sorry, Meg.
You know, I think everyone's probably going to concur on that, so I think it's okay.
I didn't know if this held a special place in your heart or not.
I've never seen it before.
This is the first time you've seen Teen Wolf?
I thought maybe I'd seen it. So I know this is going to be a shock to everybody, but I had a huge crush on Michael J. Fox when I was a kid. And I, like, watched Doc Hollywood and this stupid movie called The Secret to My Success, like, all the time with him in it. Anything with Michael J. Fox, I love. Back to the Future, obviously. But I never saw Teen Wolf.
Why?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, so now this makes this story even more interesting because it was like probably 10 years ago now or something. I was really sick, and I was so sick that I just had my TV on, and I was watching whatever was on. And I told you... You called to check on me, and you're like, oh, you know, how are you feeling? I'm like, well, I was so sick that I watched Teen Wolf today because it was just on. And you were like, wow, you must have been really sick.
I don't remember that.
And I was like, why are you judging me?
Yeah. I only watch, like, French films when I'm sick, so I just...
I'm like, I was too sick to change the channel. And, I mean, I don't hate this movie, but I mean, I have seen it before.
Yeah. I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, it's bad, but I don't hate it either. Because Michael J. Fox, he's just so charismatic, Kelly, and I just love a, like, cute... little charismatic man, and I just love him. Like, I still love him. I still have a big crush on him.
No, I love him too, and he's little, and I love him. So I thought, like, this first opening sequence, he's playing basketball. There's too much basketball in this movie, by the way.
There's if the climax of the movie is he gonna make the shot, like, I don't care. Like, I could not care less.
And, like, that basketball game was practically in real time.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of patience being asked for, yeah.
Oh, but okay, so when it reminded me though, my dad is 5'5", and it is at his height he was 5'5". He's probably shrunk a little now, but he played high school basketball, and in the program that they would print, you know, and hand out to the opposing team, his height would be listed as 5'9" to, like, intimidate the other players. But I love it because 5'9", he isn't even that tall.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
I know, but it's also like really funny. Yeah. So anyway, he played basketball, and there's some short basketball players, so I shouldn't judge him on his height for like, oh, that's not realistic.
And can I say, we recently were talking about Poltergeist 2. And when there was, what do you call it when you discriminate against short people? There should be a term for that. But when she looked out the door, when Jo Beth Williams goes and looks out the door, out the thing, she doesn't see anything, so we think it's a ghost. And then she goes back, she doesn't see anything. Oh my God, it's a fucking ghost. And then it's Zelda Rubinstein. And I'm like, you know what? Look down when you look out the thing. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like ableism, but it's not, because it's being short is not a disability.
No, it's not. Just look down, because we're there.
Now, his dad owns and he works in a hardware store in this town. Meg, you used to work in a hardware store. Do you have any Christian Grey type stories?
Yeah, hot guys came into that store.
But you did, right?
I did work at a hardware store. My dad didn't own it, and I was not a werewolf. But I worked at a hardware store, and I was very unhelpful because I could not help anybody with any questions. But I worked that till.
I just remember, I think it's like, maybe, I don't know what happens in the 50 Shades of Grey after she works at the hardware store, but I know Christian Grey comes in and like seals her away.
He comes in, he's like, I need like carbiners or whatever he uses. What are those things? Or I need rope, That happened to me, but just picture the opposite of Christian Grey.
Like, were people coming in to like bury bodies or just do sexy things?
Yeah, well, and I mean, I remember like crude remarks and things like that people would say. I mean, it was, it was a hardware store, and that's, there was interesting clientele. But yeah, you would definitely see people who were like buying a tarp and a shovel and like rope, and you're like, okay.
Speaking of crude remarks and creepy dudes, how about this drama teacher?
Oh, yeah. Even Fox was watching a little bit of us, and he's like, that guy's creepy.
I mean, he just had that vibe, and he's like, more sensual. And there was only one girl in this play, apparently.
Yeah, that was a little strange when they were just alone in that room. Yeah, there were things in this high school that went on that definitely would not happen now.
Another thing that I noticed, and I know it was not the intention, but his friend, who's a girl, her character, they call her Boof, and all I could think about was the Brett Kavanaugh hearing and how they would talk about boofing.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but thanks.
Yeah, now you've got that in your head.
And it was that trope of he's in love with this tall blonde girl that is, a whatever, she's a bitch or whatever, and he doesn't realize it, and then he's got like his, I guess she's supposed to be like homely friend who he like, he doesn't realize is the love of his life in front of his eyes, and so it had that typical stuff going on.
The other thing, I mean, this is sort of 80s, and I guess I have to, forgive it for that, but his friend was more open to him being a werewolf than he was to him being gay.
And I mean, like, he was saying that, like, the F word.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know, isn't that funny? He was like, oh, like, please don't be gay, but he's like, I'm aware of it. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable. And the other thing I was thinking, what is your opinion on this? I was thinking, okay, is it good that it seems like his friends and the school and the community is embracing his otherness? Or do you think that they only liked him when they could exploit his abilities?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, at the time, like, what is the message here? Because it seems a little muddled, because they embrace his otherness. I guess it is because he's good at basketball and, like, can do handstands on the van or whatever. So
that's a sentence you just said.
Yeah. And of course it's like, well, he had it in him all along type thing, which I guess is a pretty, overused thing that we see in movies all the time. But I don't know. I was struggling with, well, are you saying that he shouldn't be a werewolf when he can be, or that he should be ashamed, or he shouldn't be ashamed? Like, it was a really hazy message they were trying to send, which is unfortunate because I think, when I was doing the research, they were like, apparently this movie Valley Girl had done really well the year before for teens, and so they wanted to make really quickly and cheaply a a movie for teenagers that was, I guess, in the similar vein. And so you have to imagine that teenagers went and saw this movie in droves because it did pretty well. And I just wonder what they came out thinking. Like, what was the message?
Yeah. Is it okay then to show who I really am? And who is he really? I don't know. Or do we all have duality?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can like get really deep and be like, it's about duality of man, but I mean, and it is in a way. And there's obviously like that whole Jekyll and Hyde sort of thing, but his werewolf self wasn't really that different than his other self. He was just like good at basketball.
And I guess like it came out when he was really angry. I mean, that was like his whole dad's tale is that, be careful because the rage, don't be that guy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It just like, yeah, it was just kind of muddled and I mean, it was fine. I mean, what this movie does have going for it is it doesn't take itself seriously. So that's good. Oh, but I did love when we were watching the party scene and Fox is like, is this what parties are like?
Oh my gosh. It was the most ridiculous over the top high school party scene I have seen in a movie in a long time.
Like they were throwing Jell-O in the girl's bra and telling the guy to eat the Jell-O. And then there was like a what do you call that, a whipped cream fight or something? Yeah. But they were like handcuffed, and then there was like 7 Minutes in Heaven going on as well. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, no, this does not happen.
No, and maybe we never got invited to those parties, yeah. But I don't think it's true.
I mean, not all those things at once.
No. So I realize that people are polyamorous, but this Pamela, she sleeps with Michael J. Fox while she's still with her boyfriend. And Michael J. Fox thinks that they must be a couple now. She's like, no, he's still my boyfriend. And she's like making out with him in front of her boyfriend. And I mean, the boyfriend's not fine with it, but like, what?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, go be polyamorous if you want to be, but like maybe talk to your boyfriend about it. I think that's the whole point, is you're supposed to be okay about it, but her boyfriend wasn't. So then it's not, then it's just cheating.
Yeah, that was just weird. And okay, this car surfing stuff, I wonder if after this movie, if there was an increase in that. Because I remember, do you know the movie? Was it Stand By Me, or what movie where they hit mailboxes with baseball bats?
I don't know. I'm not sure what in particular.
But it was some 80s movie. And then I remember there being on the news and like in the newspaper about how that crime had increased nationwide after the movie came out. And so I was wondering, again, if this started that. And our sons saw that scene too, and they were like, that's illegal.
Our good boys. Yeah, I hope they're still like that when they're 16.
We'll see. They'll be buying kegs with fake IDs. But how about this soundtrack?
It's really 80s. Even Fox again was like, what's with this music? I mean, it's intense. And like you said, while we were watching it, we had the subtitles on so we could hear it because our kids were loud. And actually seeing the lyrics just made it all the more corny, as you pointed out.
I mean, it's over the top cheesy, and they had to have been written for this movie, I'm assuming. Because how could music that bad be just written? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it like the wolf, and then everybody's dancing like a wolf sort of choreographed dance at the prom. And
I mean, did they want that to become the next Thriller?
Probably. Oh, you have such a like bless their heart face.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I guess this movie, like the best way to sort of describe it is it's more teen, less wolf. It has that wolf element, and I like that it's a comedy. I mean, but if you're gonna watch a werewolf comedy, like just watch American Werewolf in London. I mean, the conflicts in this movie are so teenager conflicts. I mean, it's really low stakes, which is surprising for a werewolf movie. You'd think the stakes would be a little higher.
Yeah, he's not murdering anybody.
No, it's very, I don't know. He's a very docile werewolf. I mean, he like ripped somebody's shirt. That was like and I understand they're probably trying to appeal to, less of a horror audience. But I would have liked to see maybe some higher stakes. I don't know. I kept thinking while I was watching it, I'm like, maybe if I was a teenager in 1985, like this movie would have resonated with me. But as a old mom now, like I just, and because I didn't see it when I was younger, like I don't have any like, other than I just love Michael J. Fox so much. I just love him. That's the only thing. I mean, if anybody else is in that movie, I don't know if I could have like even stayed awake.
No, seriously. And I haven't rewatched it again since that day I was sick with my high fever. But I mean, I'm not going to watch it ever again in my life. I might check out, though, the TV show because it definitely has a more serious tone. And I think that people actually die. And I think there's some same-sex relationships. Like, things are up to the present.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a little darker and a little more of our time. Yeah, I'm almost curious, though, to what Teen Wolf 2 is all about. Like, not enough to watch it, but I just love Jason Bateman. Like, I had a crush on him when I was a kid, too. So, but I didn't see that movie either. So I was really failing at Blockbuster. But
Wow, that surprises me because I know you love both those men.
I do. They're cuties. But, yeah. Oh, and also, like, Michael J. Fox, I just love him as a person and that he's open about his struggles with his disease. And as somebody, I do not have Parkinson's disease, but as somebody who has a lifelong incurable disease, I always appreciate it when celebrities are just like, and I know he doesn't have much of a choice, but he's so upfront about it, and he's a real person. He's talked about his alcoholism, and he's talked about his marriage struggles and everything. He just seems cool.
Yes, I love him. And my dad has Parkinson's, and Michael J. Fox, his biography was something that my dad reached for, right away. And he's just a big fan and appreciates all that he does with his foundation to raise money for Parkinson's and everything. So we love you, Michael J. Fox.
But Back to the Future, there are better movies. And I don't know if Doc Hollywood's any better, but I loved that movie when I was a kid.
I used to watch it all the time too, like the scene when the doctor's like, just give him a Coke.
Yes. Yeah. The Frighteners.
Oh, I like the Frighteners. I know you aren't a fan, but I like it.
Maybe let's watch The Frighteners again. Maybe I'll change my mind.
So let's rank Teen Wolf on a scale of 0 to 10. What's our scale going to be? What stood out to you as something that we can use? Like a long chest hair?
Yeah.
A long chest hair that Michael J. Fox pulls out.
Ew, that was actually kind of disturbing. That was like the only scary part to me was that really, really long chest hair.
So 0 being you hated it, 10 being it's a perfect movie. How many long chest hairs do you give Teen Wolf?
I mean, I'm giving it a 4 because I understand that it's a comedy. It's not supposed to be scary. So, like, I understand. I don't expect it to be scary. But, again, if you're going to watch a comedy that involves a werewolf, just watch American Werewolf in London. It's so much better. And I'm just giving the 4 because I just love Michael J. Fox so much.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it a 4. I did not remember how long these basketball sequences were, and especially the last sequence, it felt like a real-time game.
Yeah, it did. And it was so, it's like, does anybody care? I mean, I guess sports movies are popular. I guess people care, but I could not care less. I
appreciated how he played as himself as a human and let the rest of the team join in. So that was a good message, but oh my God, it was so boring.
Yeah, and at the same time, I never got the impression he even cared about basketball that much. Like, it didn't seem like it was like his life's dream to like win in basketball. Like, he was thinking about quitting to go into theater because he liked the girl or whatever. So I don't know. It was an odd slap together movie, and I could kind of see how it's, when I was reading the research, how they were like, quick, make a movie within the year for not a lot of money, And then when you also think about, speaking of American Werewolf in London, when you think about the great like transformation scene and stuff like that, and I know this is a comedy, but at the same time, it's like they didn't try that hard.
No, it could have been different. It could have been better, but whatever. Well, we hope that you're having a good week, Horror Rewind listeners. Make sure to check us out on our social media and our webpage, horrorrewind.com. You can always tweet us or email us, horrorrewindpodcast@gmail.com, and let us know what you're watching. Until next time, we'll see you in the horror section.